Hey everybody, Hunter back again from Showtime Studios. We are up to part number 21 on the build tutorial. We have the chassis complete except for the exhaust system. I went ahead and finished up the little odds and ends I needed to do to it and got the radiator in finally. The radiator hoses are on and the air intake and everything lines up the way it should. I test fit the lower body on it just to make sure everything, cleared and fit and looked good, because, the chassis is done now. And you want to make sure that you check other things, like the lower body. You kind of want to set it into place and line it up on the pins and everything, and line it up on the rear pins back here. Just make sure the engine clears and everything looks good at that point. I did make a little bit of a modification to the where the pins mount underneath of this panel, or underneath the lower body. I wanted to change the rake of the car just a little bit. So the way I done that is right here in the floor pan, there is 4 holes, and those holes line up on these 4 pins. But what I did is I wanted the rear to come up a little bit and not be as squatted down over top of the tires. So I left the holes in the front, and I just took a simple piece of scrap parts tree and actually whittled it down until it fit into these holes back here, and then shaved them off, put it super glued the little piece in there, and then cut it off with the snippers, shaved it down. So when I set the lower body on now, it will actually pitch the body a little bit forward. It picks the rear of it up just a little bit, but it'll pitch the body forward, and it won't set as low as what the kit wanted it. So that's what we have. That's some of the things to look for. We have the wheels and tires all going straight ahead. There was a lot of interest in that video, so thanks again for that. Hopefully you guys picked up a trick there that I use on all my models when I'm putting wheels and tires on. Even if it's posable steering, I use the same techniques. I did go back on the engine, like on these red silicone style hoses, and that was done with the Vallejo Flat Black. What I did was went in with a product called, let me find it here. That's not the one I'm looking for. It's this one. It is a product from Flowquill. Now you can't get these anymore, but you can use several different things. This is a crystal coat. This is a gloss, and I just took a small brush, a 10-0 brush, dipped a little bit, and just went over top of the Vallejo flat red that was on those hoses just to give them a little bit of a sheen. Another product that you can use to do that same thing is the Tamiya X22. That works also. And you can, like on certain things on the engine, I went back in and put a little bit of a flat coat on it. Now, what I used was another Flowquill product called Flat Finish. This is dead flat. You can see all the solids down here in the bottom of it. It looks almost like a white paint, and most of it's thinner, and you have about maybe 3/16 inch of flattener in the bottom. You have to shake it up real good, dip the brush in it. You can go around and do little detail things. And what that'll do is, even though you could spray all this stuff, which pretty much I did on the front of the engine, semi-gloss black, what you will end up with when you go in and use some different flat finishes, gloss finishes, semi-gloss finishes, you will change the sheens of this black, and it looks like individual components, not something that's just one big black blob of, just everything glued together and it's all black. You can take the exact same semi-gloss black that you spray out of the airbrush from Tamiya, go back over it very carefully in strategic places, and make it all look like individual components again. And like I say, there is other things you can use. Let me pull another one down here off the shelf, and I have the whole line of these products here. This is the Microscale Industries. This is the Micro Gloss, the Micro Satin, which is basically a semi-gloss, and the flat. You can use things like that. Now, the thing is, if you use, say, this Micro Flat on one component, and you use the Flowquill flat finish on another component, they're two different flats. So you get a change in the sheen there also. So that's some of the little detailing things that I do toward the end. And we may do a video later on. Some people want me to do an engine build video where I go through the whole thing from start to finish, and we might put that on the list to do. Probably going to be more toward the middle of 2018 when we do that, but I'll go through the whole step from assembly all the way through. Everything will be on camera, all the painting, all the detail stuff, things like that. So that'll be coming up. But yeah, we're ready to go on the chassis, and everything's looking pretty good. So the next stage that we're going to move on to is we are going to start on step 4, which is the lower body and all the interior components. Now, I did do some test fitting on this, and I see something that I don't really like. So we're going to address that on video. I'll show you what I'm talking about. We do have the video coming up on the prep work on the body. So that's something else that we're going to get into this weekend. And we'll start seeing the colors come together. And I also have some lavender flocking laying over here that we're going to use on this lower floor pan right in this area here, because we're doing the car in the Tamiya lavender out of the can. So I think that'll all go well with the interior color that I picked out. So again, I want to thank everybody for the interest in the build videos so far, and stay tuned for the step number 4 coming up. We're going to start, like I say, on the lower body. Then we're going to do some interior fitting and things like that. And I'll show you how to break this whole step down so you can make everything look good and still make everything fit at the end. And then we'll be moving on to the actual body itself and getting ready to paint that. And since I have the camera at the spray booth now, we're going to go ahead and do the painting of the body on camera. So that's going to be a first for me to do an actual finished paint product live on video. So stay tuned. That one's coming up. I want to thank everybody for all the questions that came up so far on the series and on the channel. And we try to keep up with them. We're going to have to do another questions and answers before the weekend's out. So stay tuned for that one. So that's all we've got for this video. Like always, thank you for watching, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.